All right, hey, shalom, shalom. First and foremost, want to give our praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakah HaKodash. Double honors due to the apostles, the bishops, and the elders of Great Millstone, and peace, blessings, and safety to the Lord's elect. It's your brother Yeshaya, part of Men of Valor, South Carolina, and this lesson is going to be about basically the pending famine, okay, that Yahweh Shai has set to happen on this planet Earth, okay? You know, you got the angels basically keeping back the four winds of heaven. I mean, four winds of destruction. Okay, and when they start to let them go, okay, these things are gonna befall the earth. Okay, and we know that the Lord is gonna put a famine on this earth because it's gonna play into these people using it as a physical. I mean, as an advantage. All right, and basically a rock in the hard place to take their MOTB system. Okay, to basically be introduced to the system or be inducted into the system, man. Okay, they're gonna use food as leverage. All right, and you women are gonna get it the hardest now, because basically women are the weaker vessel, like the scriptures say. All right. So without further ado, I'm gonna go to the book of 2 Kings, chapter 6, and verse 25. And as you can see, the title on the right, a famine, okay, a famine in Samaria, right? Okay, so that's giving you the whole overview of the chapter. Okay, this is the famine that happened in Samaria, all right. And people act like famine is just like the Lord never sanctioned famines, man. You go to the book, into the scriptures. Okay, there's been many times that the Lord, allowed famines, okay, for us to, serve a punishment, okay, to show his great power as well. Look at Joseph, okay. Joseph, one of our forefathers, he was sold into slavery, all right, into Egypt, and he was under the Pharaoh, but at the same time, the Pharaoh took a liking unto him. I think he said it was his cousin or something like that. He was likened to his cousin or something, nephew or something. But he took a liking to him and put him in a high office, and through that, the Lord was able to work his work, okay, to be able to, feed us for 7 years. He said the prophecy is going to be 7 full cattle and 7, famine cattle or deceased cattle. Basically, 7 years of famine and 7 years of, basically flourishing or, prosperity, okay? So, without further ado, we're going to get into this account right here. This is 2 Kings 6 and verse 25. And there was a great famine in Samaria, and behold, they besieged it until an ass's head was sold for 80 pieces of silver. All right, now look at this: 80 pieces of silver, and the fourth part of a cab of dove's dung for 5 pieces of silver. So it got so bad, okay, that man, it got so bad, all right, that they were eating bird shit, okay, and buying bird shit, something that you wipe off your car, you step over, okay. They were basically selling bird shit, all right, and an ass's head for 80 pieces of silver, okay. So that's 80 pieces of silver for an ass head. And you know what they was doing? They was eating it, okay? An unlawful animal, all right? And a cab of dove's dung for 5 pieces of silver, man. All right, eating bird shit. All right, that's how bad it got. And that's how, the people, because that really shows lack of faith. All right, when you go to resort to eating things unlawful because you're hungry, you're pretty much, you're basically saying to the Lord that, hey, you don't have me, or you don't, you're not my provider, which the Lord is the provider, man. Okay, he is the provider, and he provides to us, man. Okay, to his people. All right, but hey, and a lot of you people are gonna resort to acts of cannibalism. Okay, and that's what I'm about to get into right now. Y'all gonna resort to acts of cannibalism, man. Okay, in the very near future, you're gonna eat little Daquan. You're gonna eat little, Ray Ray, little, Taquavius, whatever. Whatever y'all niggas name y'all children, man. Verse 26, and as the king of Israel was passing by upon the wall, there cried a woman unto him, saying, Help, my lord, O king. And he said, If the Lord do not help thee, whence shall I help thee? Out of the barn floor or out of the winepress? And the king said unto her, What aileth thee? And she answered, This woman said unto me, Give thy son, that we may eat him today, and we will eat my son tomorrow. So they were basically, they had they made a deal. Okay, one woman said, we'll eat my son today, and we're gonna eat your son tomorrow. Okay, and look what this Israelite woman did, man. She ran off on the plug. So we boiled my son and did eat him. And I said unto her, On the next day, give thy son that we may eat him. And she hath hid her son. Okay, so there you go. Okay, so she got out. It's not taken away from the fact that that's a despicable act of eating flesh. Okay, we won't even eat pig. We won't even eat shrimp, crab, lobster, these other things. How much more? And those are animals. How much more your own flesh? Hey, but the scriptures say, people have to resort to it. And that's why we're building up our faith in Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai. So when these things come upon us, we won't be even tempted to look at, eating any type of abominable things. And it got so bad, like I'm about to pull up into Josephus, that they resorted to, eating sandals. Not only, cannibalism, but you got to be down bad. And that's how it's going to start. Niggas going to pick up their Jordans, going to pick up their goddamn Adidas tennis shoes. Niggas going to be eating their church shoes. All right. Y'all, them little sandals, y'all be like to wear them flat foot sandals them women like to wear, when the sun out with them sundresses. All right. Them ones that make that clack, clack every time they walk. You know what I'm saying? They're going to be eating them shits. All right. And then when they go on, what they're going to do? They're going to look at the dog. If you got pets, cats. All right. And then, hey, the next step is what? Human meat. And they've always been doing it. And I ain't going to say it in Mickey D's. Okay. It's already been confirmed that they grind, certain things up and put them in there and feed it to y'all, man. So y'all already have a taste for, what you call human meat. And the thing is, all right, you'll never go back to being the same after you eat human flesh, right? You will never go back to being that normal person because first and foremost, Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai he thinks that is an abomination, just as the foods that we're not supposed to be eating, he views that as an abomination, man. Okay, so hey, and we do too. Okay, you'll never go back, just as in that movie, The Book of Eli, when in the Book of Eli, where basically you can tell, like they could tell the ones that indulged, chose cannibalism. They were shaking. Okay, they had like alcohol withdrawals. When you drink too when you drink too much and your body becomes dependent on you, get the shakes. They had the shakes, and that's the human meat shakes, man. All right, so this is the Flavius Josephus. All right, the Wars of the Jews. All right, and we're going down to the 193rd, basically verse, third chapter. All right, I mean, yeah, whatever. The third, chapter. Okay. Now of these that perished by famine in the city, the number was prodigious, and the miseries they underwent were unspeakable. Okay, for it was so much as the shadow of any kind of food did it anywhere appear. A war was commenced presently, and the dearest friends fell a fighting one with another about it, snatching from each other the most miserable supports of life. Okay, and that's gonna come back around full circle. What? In the book of Second Esdras, the 15th chapter, around the 16th verse. All right. So just back in what the Flavius Josephus said with scripture. All right. 2 Ezra 15 and 14. Woe to the world and them that dwell therein, for the sword in their destruction draweth nigh, and one people shall stand up to fight against another, and swords in their hands. For there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, and the course of their actions shall stand in their power. So we're coming upon a time where, like the book of Daniel says, there has since it never been, a time. Okay, there's never been a time like this time that we're approaching. All right, verse 16, for there shall be sedition among men, and invading one another. They shall not regard their kings nor princes, in the course of their actions shall stand in their power. A man shall desire to go into a city and shall not be able. For because of their pride, the city shall be troubled, the houses shall be destroyed, and men shall be afraid. A man shall have no pity upon his neighbor, but shall destroy their houses with the sword and spoil their goods because of the lack of bread and for great tribulation. All right, and that's what we're coming upon, man. Okay, and that's what Flavius Josephus was just saying. All right, for if so much as a shadow of any kind of food did appear anywhere, a war was commenced presently, and the dearest friends fell a fighting one with another about it, snatching from each other the most miserable supports of life. So they was eating all type of scraps, snatching from each other, shit that you wouldn't even give to your brother or sister on a good day, okay, or a bad day. This was something that man, okay, and this world is gonna see it like never before. Okay, they're gonna experience it like never before. Let's go to Daniel the 12th chapter. Parallel that thing with the NLT. My nigga NLT. All right, Daniel 12 and 1. And at that time let's read it in the NLT. At that time, Michael the archangel, who stands guard over your nation, will arise. Then there will be a time of anguish greater than any since nations first came into existence. But at that time, every one of your people whose name is written in the book will be rescued. Okay, so the elect are going to be rescued out of these times like never before. And this happened before. This is documented. Okay, and now, the Flavius Josephus goes off sometimes, like our apostles and elders tell us, but for the most part, it's reputable. Okay, all right, you can, you can stamp it. This is, writings that the Lord had ordained for us to fall upon or to rely upon. Okay, because first and foremost, we go through the scriptures, but there are supporting documents. Okay, you have, certain of your history books with secular history. They're supporting documents backing up the Bible. Okay, and these are basically a what's the word? Anecdotal. Anecdotal account of what the Flavius Josephus heard of. All right. So, back into it. All right. Nor would men believe that those who were dying had no food, but the robbers would search them when they were expiring, lest anyone should have concealed food in their bosoms and counterfeited dying. So it was so bad that they were actually going marauding and robbing. And even if you about to take your last breaths, they're patting you down to see if you hid any food, man. That's how dire the times are gonna get, and they're gonna get to this point times 1,000. All right. Nay, these robbers gaped for want and ran about stumbling and staggering along like mad dogs. Okay, probably full of that damn human meat, and reeling against the doors of the houses like drunken men. They would also, in the great distress they were in, rushed into the very same houses 2 or 3 times in one and the same day. Okay, so damn, they wasn't even thinking logically, and that's how a lot of people are gonna be acting, man. They're gonna lose their fucking mind, and they're gonna just be out here doing whatever their hearts desire, and their heart is going to be totally warped, all right, by the great, famine and the great distress that this world is going to put on them. But what's going to keep the elect from, experiencing the same fate is the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Yahweh. Wisdom and knowledge shall be the stability of thy times. Moreover, their hunger was so intolerable, and that it obliged them to eat everything while they gathered such things as the most sordid animals would not touch. Okay, so you have people eating rotten, you know, dead animals, man. Okay, worms in it, that stench. Like you ain't in your right mind even bear to smell. Okay, these rotten animals, man. All right, how much more eating them? All right, damn, and endured them. Nor did they at length abstain from girdles and shoes, and that very leather which belonged to their shields they pulled off and gnawed. Okay, so bam, people gonna be resorting to eating shoes, clothes, anything to put something on your bitch ass stomach, man. And that's why you got to have discipline when it comes to food, man. Okay, and I'm not saying this is gonna save you, but things like intermittent fasting, controlling what you eat, those things play a big part in how what your body craves and when it craves it. Okay, you got people that eat just around the clock nonstop. They eat around the clock nonstop, snacks in between. Okay, how you think these people gonna act when the first couple hours go and they don't have food? Stomach start growling. Stomach start growling. They gotta find something to eat, and then that distress. Okay, they're gonna be eating unimaginable things, man. All right, and then you could be on the menu, just as Alex Jones said. He said, "I'm gonna eat my neighbors. I am not letting my daughter starve. I'm gonna eat my neighbors." That goddamn fool, man. All right. Let's see where I left off. Yeah, and the very leather which belonged to their shields they pulled off and gnawed. The very wisp of old hay became food to some. Old hay now, and some gathered up fibers and sold a very small weight of them for 4 drachmae. Attic. I don't know what that is. But let's see. What the fuck is a drachmae? A former monetary unit of Greece, notionally equal to 100 lepta, replaced in 2002 by the euro. So it was a silver coin of ancient Greece, so money. All right, cool. Learn something new. So an attic was, the Greek form of currency. But why do I describe the shameless impudence that the famine brought on men in their eating inanimate things, all right, dead things, while I am going to relate a matter of fact, the like to which no history relates, either among the Greeks or barbarians? It is horrible to speak of it, and it is incredible when heard. And I indeed willingly omitted this calamity of ours, that I might not seem to deliver what is so pertinent to posterity, but that I have innumerable witnesses to it in my own age, and besides, my country would have had little reason to thank me for suppressing the miseries that she underwent at this time. So there you go. The Flavors Josephus just went over that, man, and hey, it's gonna be a time like never before. Okay, since there was a time. All right, so yeah, man, it's gonna get really bad out here, man, and you women that don't have men. Okay, hey man, y'all are gonna be eating y'all's babies. That's why the scriptures say. That's why Isaiah 4:1 is so important, and Elder Pastor Hart always goes into it. Okay, hey, uh, Isaiah 4. These women are gonna be begging to be with the man of the Lord, not just any man. Okay, but a man of the Lord. All right, a man of the Lord. Okay, because if you don't have a man of the Lord in those days, hey, that's why they said, just let us be called by your name. Um, we will, make our own food. I mean, make provide for our own food and make our own clothes. Which basically, this is gonna be saying they're self sufficient. Cause where the fuck are we gonna get a damn needle and thread and cloth and shit, man? All right, that's just talking about just in a imaginary sense, of I ain't gonna say fictitious, but basically like parabolic, or I can't find the right word, but basically they're saying that, but that's just representative of them sustaining their own keep. All right, like a allegory. I don't know. I just I be misusing words a lot, man. It's all good. All right. And let me see. All right, now let's go to the book of Lamentations 4:9, because it is a, man, it is a horrible, horrible feeling, okay, to die of hunger, okay. And brothers know when they get hungry and you haven't ate in a while, okay. Say you going on a fast and it's starting to hit you, all right, you know, or you just hungry. You've been working all day, okay. Your body's been eating itself, all right. Yeah, your body's been eating itself, okay, and you don't have any stored, no more stored carbs, and it starts attacking the fat and it starts, eating itself. Pretty much, that's what the body does, okay. The body um, is set is was made to self preserve, okay. So it will do whatever it has to, all right, through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Yahushua, who set it up that way, okay. It would do anything it has to preserve life until there is no more life to preserve. Okay, your cells will be exhausted. Everything that you have in you will be used up until your dying day, and that's a painful process, man. All right, and you don't want to be a part of that. Lamentations 4:9. They that be slain with the sword are better than they that be slain with hunger. For these pine away. It's like it, man. For these pine away, stricken through for what? For want of the fruits of the field. The hands of the pitiful women have sodden their own children. They were their meat in the destruction of the daughter of my people. So we have been through certain famines before, man. Okay, and that's why this book was written for aforetime for our learning, that we may learn, okay, the ways, all right, the things that the Lord has put us through, and ultimately how He's gonna ultimately make all of that, come together in Jacob's trouble, man. Okay, that's why the scriptures say that, out of all of the times that we've been in, the famines, the certain captivities, it pales in comparison than what we're gonna come up into, all right, in the next couple of months. All right. So you got to tap in, man. All right, you got to. All right, I don't know what else to say. Okay, but just bring out these scriptures, man. All right, let's go to the book of Ezekiel 4. Ezekiel Ezekiel 4:11. Thou shalt Salakia, and this is talking about the famine. All right. Uh, Ezekiel 4:10, and thy meat which thou shalt eat shall be by weight, 20 shekels a day. From time to time shalt thou eat it. So, food is going to be rationed out. Hyperinflation is going to happen. Okay. So, hey, man, if there's a time to get right with the Lord, it is now, man. All right. Romans 13:11, for now is high time to awake out of sleep, for our salvation is nearer than when we believed. All right. And thy meat shall be by weight, 20 shekels a day. From time to time shalt thou eat it. Thou shalt drink also water by measure, the sixth part of a hin. From time to time shalt thou drink. So you're not going to have an abundance of water, clean water at least. All right. And this is set up by design, man. Okay. The earth is plentiful. Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, he does a beautiful work in this earth to make sure everything is running as a well-oiled machine. Even though Esau has put a monkey wrench in it, threw a monkey wrench in it. All right, y'all like how I did that? Well-oiled machine, monkey wrench. Anyway, so yeah, man. And the Lord Yahweh said, even thus shall the children of Israel eat their defiled bread among the Gentiles, whither I will drive them. Okay, so take heed, man. All right. This is one of my favorite ones when it comes to yeah, the famine. Jeremiah 15:1. Then said the Lord Yahweh unto me, though Moses and Samuel stood before me, the kings and the prophets stood before me, yet my mind could not be toward this people. Cast them out of my sight and let them go forth. That's why we don't lift up prayer for these people, man. That'll be like telling the Lord, why hast thou done this? Okay, like, hey, I had the potter power over the potter to tell him, why hast thou made me thus? No. Okay. And it shall come to pass, if they say unto thee, whither shall we go forth? And that's what these people are going to be. Hey, what are we supposed to do to get food? Because they're going to see the elect decked out, not worrying about a damn thing. Okay. Eating, full, Probably throwing away food, man. Like, man, I'm being a glutton, man. I'm just gonna let this, just throw this to the birds, right? Then said the Lord Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai. Then thou shalt tell them, thus saith the Lord Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai. Such as are for death to death, such as are for the sword to the sword, such as are for the famine to the famine. All right. And such as are for the captivity to the captivity. So there's a million ways to die. Pick one. All right. The Lord is he has no limit to his power, to his thoughts. Like his thoughts, is way above our thoughts. Just as the heavens are above the earth, so is his ways higher than our ways. All right. So bam, man. Hey, and brothers been taking heed through the spirit. The spirit's been working through the elder Yashawamba in the Dallas camp, all right, with the brother the Prishar. He did a beautiful testimony about the Lord making provision, and brothers should watch that video, man. Lord willing, I'll probably put it in the description. Matthew 24:7, for nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines and pestilences, earthquakes in diverse places. So there you go. Just pinpointing once again that famines, okay, are on the horizon. Okay, famines are on the horizon. So hey, and like I said, no carnal means will be able to, get you out of this. That's why you need to first and foremost repent and get closer and seek the Lord's face while he may be found. Okay, and then he will give you a way out of it, man. Whether it be provisions, having extra provisions for you, like this, the Lord willing, I do this lesson next. Just keeping the spirit of the provisions being set for the elect. Okay, and on the opposite end, just giving exhorting the elect. Okay, and basically building them up, edifying. Okay, by letting certain, especially ones that are young in the faith, that you don't have to be scared of these things, man. You just have to believe in Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai. All right, and that's it. Job 15:5-19. He shall deliver thee in 6 troubles, yea, in 7 there shall no evil touch thee. In famine he shall redeem thee from war, from death, and in war from the power of the sword. Okay, so we don't have anything to worry about on this side, man. We really don't. Okay. Just serving the Lord, man. All right. And Lord willing, we're part of that elect. All right. So it's Isaiah 65 and around verse 13. 65:13. Therefore, thus saith the Lord, Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai, behold, my servant shall eat, but ye shall be hungry. Behold, my servant shall drink, but ye shall be thirsty. Behold, my servant shall rejoice, but ye shall be ashamed. Behold, my servant shall sing for joy of heart, but ye shall cry for sorrow of heart, and shall howl for vexation of spirit. So there you go. Okay. So if you're, outside of the fold, outside of the book of life, these are the things that's going to happen to you. And we're getting ourselves prepared right now through the spirit, the power of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shai, to maneuver through this stuff, man. All right. We're going to have to be maneuvering through these things as well. Okay. But the spirit that's going to be on us is going to have us with a sense of calm, cool, and collectiveness that these people are not going to possess. And that's what is going to set the elect apart from the people of this world that's going through these said calamities, man. Okay. So I had one more, but I think I'm gonna end it with that. Let me proofread it first. Cause I mean it's not off subject, but it's kinda Baruch 2 and 3. I think I saved that for the next lesson, man. But it's basically Baruch 2 and 3 that a man should eat the flesh of his own son and the flesh of his own daughter. So just women are not basically, what? Let me go ahead and end it with that, because women, y'all are not the only ones that's going to be cannibalizing, but I just pinpointed them because, hey, you got to start with the weaker vessel, man, okay? And maybe, the men will follow suit, just as Adam, just as the fall of Adam, right? Baruch 2 and verse, I'm going to start at 1. Therefore the Lord have made good his word, which he pronounced against us and against our judges that judge Israel, and against our kings and against our princes and against the men of Israel and Judah, to bring upon verses, to bring upon great plagues, such as never happened under the whole heaven, as it came to pass in Jerusalem, according to the things that were written in the law of Moses, that a man should eat the flesh of his own son and the flesh of his own daughter. So we're not going to be a part of that. We're going to believe in Yahweh Shai, with the faith of Abraham, Lord willing. The Lord is going to move us from glory to glory. And with that, another form of faith will have to flourish. So, Lord willing, that was edifying. Want to end it with that, giving all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Rachah HaKodash. Double honors to the apostles, bishops, and the elders of Great Millstone, and peace, blessings, and safety to the Lord's elect out there. Shalom.